You want to go?
Not from a day.
I'm front wheel drive.
I'm rear wheel. I'm gonna just spin.
It was at this moment that he knew.
My power, baby!
That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. What's up, guys? Quattro Game back in the building for another video. Today we're doing something very familiar but slightly different. You guys know that the Mark V was, I don't want to say what made the channel, but it is kind of what made the channel. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, that car was K04. You guys know I have a love for the FSIs. We kind of stepped into something. I'm going to document the journey similarly to the way we did the Mark V a few years back. So you guys stay tuned. Let's get straight into the video. I'm super excited. We're going for the K04 upgrade for the TT. A couple of things that we're going to be installing today is the GFB diverter valve. We're going to go with RS4 injectors, a 3-bar map sensor from an Audi S3, all of the gaskets and things like that that you need to do the swap, a DV relocation kit from Unitronic, and the party piece, a CTS K04 Turbo. Beautiful piece. So we're gonna be installing this on the car, and let's get straight to it. So just to get you guys up to speed with what's been going on with the TT build, I originally purchased it with a blown head and chipped intake valves. I was able to find a head, send it off to the machine shop and get it properly set up. And we got it back, installed it on the car, and here we are now, starting to try to modify the car. And shortly after getting the car running, we got the car to stage 2 plus, basically full bolt-ons on the stock turbo. So obviously we took some trips to Mexico. So for those of you that actually want to see this build on the Mark V Volkswagen chassis, you can hit the links in the description or the ones I'll put in the top right corner. As some of you know, I switched over to the Mark II Audi TT recently, and the first obstacle for doing this build obviously was price. CTS seems to have the best price for the K04, so that's what we went with. All of the part numbers and links will be in the description of this video, so make sure you go down there. For any parts that you need or have questions about, feel free to drop in the comments and I'll try to respond to them as quickly as possible. But let's get straight into this. All right, so right now we're getting ready to go in with the DV relocation kit from Unitronic. This is the piece that the diverter valve sits in, and that one's gonna go right here on this Y pipe. Now, some Mark Vs have this Y pipe. I actually swapped this one from a Mark V that has the noise or sound actor or whatever. So it slips on there just like this, and that's how the TTSs have it. The reason for moving the diverter valve here is for throttle response. The K04 is in. I need to hook up a few coolant and oil lines, and then from there, button everything back up, top off the coolant again. We should be good. So now, if everything goes smoothly, this is supposedly supposed to be a 4 to 6 hour job from start to finish.
Now, obviously we added a few parts and it was not just a turbo swap for this particular application, but I will say that given the time frame that I had to work with and the obstacles that I ran into, it wasn't the hardest thing in the world to do. Now, for beginners or people that aren't mechanically inclined, I would most definitely recommend getting a professional to do this kind of install for you. There are a lot of things that you need to know, and there's a lot of things that don't seem apparent when you first start that end up being a problem down the road. For instance, the wastegate actuator not being aligned properly can cause all kinds of issues with fitment. So make sure that, like I said, you get professional attention, help, or have some sort of mechanical background yourself.
Smooth re-entry into the atmosphere.
Lastly, when you're installing all of the boost hoses, whether that be to the throttle body, the intercooler, or even the turbo itself, make sure that you're keeping them snug. And also, once the car has a few heat cycles through it, go back while the car is warm and just double check those connections. A lot of times the rubber is tougher when it's cold and softer when it's hot. So if you tighten it while it's hot, it'll seal properly to whatever surface it's touching.
All right, boys and girls, going back in with the Bosch 3-bar map sensor while I've got a little bit more space.
Now, we did the high pressure fuel pump upgrade in a previous video. If you'd like to see that, make sure you hit the link in the top right corner. Also, when installing it, please be careful of all of the vacuum and coolant lines that are directly next to it. They are fiddly and can break on you. One of the most important things in doing this job is making sure that nothing leaks. The banjo bolts, the washers for the banjo bolts, and all of the lines that go to and from the turbo need to be secure. What I was doing right there was cleaning everything so that I had a better look at what happens after the car is running and once the system is pressurized. Everything checked out, so we went straight to revving it.
All right, so I'm locking up here and it is the next morning and we're getting ready to take it on its maiden voyage.
Yeah, living it up, sipping it up, check out the pack, we shipping it up. I still sipping purple the drought. I gotta run from the cut. I brought the K, let it pop. She let me get in that butt. Drip had to toe like a 9.